You want me to do it?
Yes.
We're live. Hi.
So we are live. And every time we start this, there is something comical that happens.
There's always
But
something.
man, this is how we do it. So we crash land every time. Welcome. This is Classified Teen Thursday. We are so excited, first of all, today because we have a guest in the house, y'all. And so before we even get started, first, I want to do a quick welcome to Miss Berger in the house. Yes, this is so awesome. You are the first guest for Teen Thursday.
Yay! Yes. I'm first.
You are first. This is amazing. So we're going to be able to dig into our conversation. Bella will take over. But for those of you who are joining, we definitely want you to, type away in the chat. Let us know how your day is going. We are going to do our Hello Beautiful, Hello Handsome. I'm changing up my Hello Beautiful this week. My Hello Beautiful is actually to Isabella.
Aww.
Yeah. So I actually wanted to just take a quick minute to thank you. We are on episode 8. We started launching these YouTube live in June, and they have been incredible. Every time you show up, you actually bring something so powerful to the conversation. You talked about body image and self-love and self-care and bullying and all kinds of things. And our, as you know, Bella, our entire organization, LCM Group, is centered around you and wellness and how we speak to our kids and trying to, make the world a better place. So I wanted to give you a quick shout out because you've just done a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes, lifting, sharing, modeling, all of those things, modeling the right behaviors. And I'm really grateful for you. You are an amazing daughter, a fantastic speaker. She knocked it out, y'all, at an event that we had recently in front. She was the only teenager in a room full of women, a lot of them very powerful women, and Bella stood up and gave a speech for about 10 minutes and just knocked it out. So I just wanted to say I'm really proud of you. Obviously I'm inspired by you and I'm empowered by everything that you're doing, so keep it up. I'm not coming back with a Hello Beautiful for you next week. Okay, this is it. So that's it. So Bella, do your Hello Beautiful, Hello Handsome, and then we're gonna go right into Miss Berger.
All right. So my Hello Beautiful for this week is one of my close friends. Her name is Manasa. We weren't really close over the school year, but we've gotten a lot closer over the summer. We talk like almost every day. She is like one of the best people I know. I love her so much. And yeah.
I love that. So what was her name again?
Manasa.
Okay. Well, hello, beautiful. I hope that, you have a wonderful school year, which is around the corner. Thank you for being a good friend to Bella. We appreciate that, right? We just appreciate that. So now the moment has come.
All right. Well, first, I would like to introduce our special guest for this week, Miss Lisi Berger. She is an amazing teacher. Definitely one of my favorite teachers. I know that for a fact. I love her so much.
I love you too, so that works out beautifully.
All right, so I want you to tell us about yourself, your background, and whatever you want the guests to know about you.
Oh, well, let's see. My name is Lisi Berger, and I have been living in Atlanta since 2007. I was raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and a little shout out, Parkway Central, forever. I've been a middle school teacher for a really long time, over 20 years. Wow. And in addition to teaching school, I also teach Pilates, which is a really fantastic type of exercise. And I teach it right now at the Club Pilates over at Peachtree Corners at the Forum. So that's kind of fun. I am married to an absolutely amazing husband that I love and is my best friend. We have 2 fantastic dogs, and we live in a great house together. And it's really, I have a lot of good things in my life. I'll be at Autry Mill. I think this will be my, I think it's my 10th year at Autry Mill. And I'll be teaching 7th grade social studies all the way back in the new wing. And I'm looking forward to another fantastic year.
Woo! Woohoo! Yay for teachers!
All right, so I wanted to ask you what your biggest challenges are and how you overcome them.
I mean, that's it. We're going to go jumping straight into challenges. You're not going to start out with something light and airy and breezy. Like when you walk in, what are the first couple things you do? Geez, Bella. Get to know a girl a little bit, huh? All right. Okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot of challenges. I mean, there's challenges everywhere. There's challenges when it comes to reaching and connecting with every kid. I mean, I want everybody who comes into my room to feel like family, to grow into feeling like, you know, these are the people that love me and care about me and want to see me succeed. I feel like building a circle, building a community is one of the most important things that we do in my classroom. You know, when you're here, you're family. When you're here, you belong. When you're in my classroom, you matter and you're going to be treated with dignity and respect. I want to celebrate the things that you do really well. I want to help correct the things that you are a hot dumpster fire at doing. I want you to know that in this journey, in this life that we're all living, it's exciting and it's terrifying and it's crazy and wonderful, and all of that can be challenging. So as a teacher, I feel like there are different challenges on a day-to-day basis. You know, sometimes that have to do with children, sometimes that has to do with parents or coworkers, sometimes it has to do with curriculum. I mean, there are challenges everywhere, but I'd say the number one priority for me is about connecting to other human beings and helping everybody to have a good experience at school.
Yeah.
Wow.
We love that.
I mean, how was seventh grade for you, Bella? Tell the viewing audience, how did you feel when you came to Autry Mill, when you would come to class?
Yeah.
Was our class a place where you wanted to be? How did you feel?
Your class was definitely one of my favorite classes out of all of them. I had pretty good teachers this past year, but your class was definitely one of my favorites. You're so welcoming to every single student that comes into your classroom, and it makes you your family. You know, it makes you feel like you belong in that room, that you belong with these people, and that like we're siblings, and we call each other siblings, and that we are all related, and that we're all family, and that we all care and love for each other. And if someone was acting out or just not showing that love to someone else, you would treat them as you would treat your own child, and you would discipline them accordingly. And it's just an amazing place to be. And I loved your class.
Thank you. And I feel like that's what school really should be. It should be a place where we feel community, where we feel like we have the room to be ourselves and succeed. And I gotta say, school is a place where you are allowed to make mistakes. School is a place where you can act out and will correct you and fix it and work on it. You know, it's a place where you can ask hard questions. You can read great books. You can disagree with somebody and still treat them like family. I feel like it's, I think we learn a lot about maybe getting along, making sure that, when you're part of a community, we're not going to agree on everything. We're not, going to have the same things that we value. We're not going to love the same things or hate the same things, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I really feel like that's all right. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have my friends and my closest people to me, and I don't want them all to be just like me.
Right.
I don't want to. I think the world could not handle a dozen Mrs. Lisi Bergers. Lord help the world. I mean, it'd be a noisy place. It'd be a nice place. There'd be a lot of sparkles and rainbows. We'd all be very elaborately dressed.
Yes.
But it'd be noisy. It'd be a noisy world.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. Such a great thing. I love you.
I love you too.
How do you connect with new students?
I mean, I start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. I start off just with names. Tell me your name, and then tell me what you're, about what you're passionate, what matters to you. at the very beginning of the year, I ask students to write me a letter, and I know it's a bit boring, writing a letter. I can't really have people send me text messages. But I ask people to write me a letter, and I ask about the things that matter most to them. I ask what students value. I want to know about those things. And, I feel like if we can start there, getting to know each other, that's the greatest place in the world, because somewhere we are going to find common footing. We're going to find common ground. We're going to find a place that we can both stand, whether it's, okay, we share this political view, or wow, we both really like watching reruns of The Office. Let's find something, some sort of common connection, and we'll build from there. So that's usually where I like to begin building relationships, is I like to start off with, tell me about what you value, what matters to you, and I can't wait to hear all about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stealing this. Hold on. I'm just going to say right now, going back to the executive world, I'm taking all of this. we're leveraging your best practices for sure.
Well, and it's funny, Shelley. I feel like maybe a side business or a future business when I retire, I want to do this with adults. I feel like one of our biggest issues, and I see this really with children, but especially with adults, we struggle with candor.
Yes.
Struggle to be clear and direct and candid, especially when we need to tell someone something that they're doing wrong, or we need to tell someone about something that's hurting our feelings. It's easy to say the good things. Oh, I love you. You're fabulous. You're great. That work is beautiful. But a lot of people really stumble and struggle when it comes to, needing to make a change or notify someone. And I think that's why, part of my Instagram name is, it has the word candid in it, because when you're using candor, it comes from a place of caring. Right. And it's a lot about, when you start at a base of caring, I can say to you, hey, you really hurt my feelings the other day. Or I can say to you, this work is not what I'm asking for, and I'd like to show you how to do it better. Or, you know what, I did not like the way you spoke to me. It hurt my feelings, and I don't want us to have this problem, so let's talk about it. It comes from a good place, and that's okay.
Yeah. It's very intentional. I love that.
It is. And I think let's teach children how to do that. Again, it's so easy. I was watching Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. I'm a bit of a fantasy buff, and I've read all the books. And there was this wonderful quote, where wonderful line that was in the television show. And they said, we're not making peace with our friends. We're making peace with our enemies. And when you're making peace with your enemies, if we take that and boil that down into a much smaller, more relatable idea, we've got to get along with the people that we struggle to get along with. It's easy to have those easy conversations with the people that we love and that love us. Let's not be afraid of being candid, coming from a place of care and concern, and being direct and asking for what we need, asking others what do they need from us.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Go ahead, Bella. I'm sorry, I had to jump in. I'm a fan. Okay, go ahead.
Please be a fan. Go Miss B.
For that, she has most definitely been like, oh, I don't like how you said that. Or I don't like if you could do more. I'm in tag. I'm in like a talented and gifted program thing. Mm-hmm. So we do our work is a lot. It's a little bit harder. We have a lot more expectations. And especially like a lot of times if you turn in work and it's not exactly like, you can do more, she will most definitely go, this is not what I expected. Like I need you to do more for me.
And usually I don't think anybody really disagrees with me. I think I introduce at the very beginning of the year on that first week, I say, I'm asking for your very best work and your full attention when you're with me for 45 minutes. Bella will tell you I don't really give a lot of homework. So, maybe I'll ask you for a discussion at the dinner table with your family, or maybe I'll ask you to write up a little something. But for the most part, give me your best for under an hour a day. And again, I think that's part of the process is being able to recognize that, okay, this is my best work, or no, this was a ham sandwich in a handbag and I'm just shoving it through. And, you know, she noticed and she knows. And, you know, I always, you know, I hear from students sometimes and sometimes from their parents. And, you know, well, you gave me a B. You gave me an F. No, I didn't. You earned that.
Yeah, you earned that.
I had very little to do with it other than evaluating the work itself. You are the one that earned that grade. The effort, the energy, and the attention that you paid to it, that's what you did. Yeah. And you know what? That's okay. Yeah. Anybody who's getting all A's in every subject on every assignment, dare I say that as someone who is not really being challenged.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people are naturally smart, but for the most part, let's be candid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are earning the grades that are a reflection of the effort and energy that we put into them. And you know, your mom will tell you the same thing. When we're adults, it's the same way. We know those coworkers that kind of halfway it.
Yeah, they wing it.
Yeah, and you know what? I get it. And the times that I halfway it, I have people that work with me or work above me and that will call me on it and say, hey, that was not your best work. Yeah. And the expectations that we have of you are significantly higher. Please, you know, meet my expectations. I mean, I guess in the real world, we call that, you know, keeping your job. And in school, let's call that learning great habits, learning a good work ethic, learning about the great A word, accountability. I love that word.
I love that.
Love accountability. I mean, accountability is huge. Let's take responsibility and accountability for our actions, our decisions, and the circumstances in which we find ourselves.
I love that.
I love that. Okay. I know in your classroom you have a zero bullying policy, so I wanted to ask, how do you support kids who are being bullied, and what advice do you have for parents and victims?
That's a tough one. I feel like there are a couple different ways to approach this. So let's start with if a student is being bullied. Something that we do at Autry Mill is we ask all of our students to identify a trusted adult in the building. We want you to have at least one, hopefully more, but we'd like there to be a couple of adults that you feel comfortable speaking with them, you feel comfortable being candid with them. If there is a problem that you are struggling to handle by yourself, this is the adult that you would seek out for support. So identifying who that person is, and you know, we encourage all of our students starting at the beginning of the year, get to know your teachers, get to know the other staff at school, know your counselors. We have an amazing front office staff. We have cafeteria staff that are so kind and, oh my gosh, so funny. Yeah. We've got people all over the building. Start by building relationships. Make sure, oh my gosh, our media center specialists and people, we've got we have wonderful people, wonderful, kind, caring people. So the first thing that you can do is, if a student is being bullied, tell your trusted adult. Getting it out in the open will make you feel a tremendous weight lifted, because bullies, they thrive on secrecy.
Yeah.
They're counting on you being afraid. They're counting on you saying nothing out of fear. Oh, I'll make it worse. Oh, and honestly, it'll get worse. And I get it, but that's what bullies do. They make threats and they're going to use your fear against you. Mm-hmm. And I don't like any of my children to come to school, to this beautiful, special place where I want you to feel safe and feel scared. Forget that. Forget that. So, number one, find a trusted adult and say the words out loud, I'm getting bullied. Keep a record. If it's digital bullying, if someone is bothering you outside of school, and I'm sorry to say that a lot of instances of bullying do happen on social media, outside of school, keep the evidence. If somebody sends you something that's nasty or threatening, screenshot it. Even if they delete it, you still have copies of it. If someone sends you a nasty email or you see a video about someone, please, take that and download it so that we can address it. We want everyone to feel safe and welcome. And the adults in your life will tell you, technology has jumped in a way that I don't think we necessarily were ready to handle at times. We don't necessarily know the best way to, sometimes address things because technology moves so fast. It can be challenging, and it's a big but. I want to encourage you to, if there is mounting evidence, take pictures of it, download it, collect it, do that. And then take it to the school, show it to your trusted adult, show it to your grade level principal. There's one in each grade. Show it to your, head administrator, show it to the school resource officer. I mean, again, as technology advances, we as a society are creating more laws and rules and expectations of how people should behave. So I think that would be the first 2 steps. Find your trusted adult, document, and then let's see what ideas that the school has to help make it better. I will ask you if you have addressed this with your parents and your family, whoever you identify as family in your life. Tell them what's going on. Bullies thrive in secrecy. They love to live in the dark because they think no one can see them. That's why there are so many internet trolls, because so many people can safely put a nickname, Dodo Bird 2000, and they can say anything they want to. Well, aren't you brave? Not going to put your face, not going to put your name. You're nothing but a coward. And you know what? I have no time for cowards in my life. Thank you very much. Move along. But once we've identified the bully, I can say personally, I will talk to that child, the child in question. I'll talk to them like a human being, and I'll say, I am hearing that you are saying unkind things. I am hearing that you are putting hands on people in a way that makes people feel unsafe. Talk to me. Is that happening? And then there are other steps that the adults are going to take to try and identify what the problem is and how we can move forward. But that's what you want to do. If someone is picking on you, tell people. Let your friends in your friend group know. If it's someone that's in your friend group, find new friends. And I say that to you with love, and I know that's challenging because one of my favorite students, she was in a friend group, and one of those friends was an awful bully. And I watched, I'd given my advice, and I had put my 2 cents in when this child had asked for my help. And I said, if the people that you're surrounded by are not cheering for you and rooting for you, and if they can't see somebody who is doing wrong, perhaps it is time to investigate in other friendships. And then I think that leads me into another kind of important tip that I might say. Excuse me. Learn how to be an ally. When you hear somebody say something unkind, look them in the eyes. Hey, that was mean. Don't say that. Because a lot of times bullies are not expecting to be accountable. So sometimes those casual, nasty comments, oh, dude, mean. I'm a little bit funny. I have a sense of humor. So there are times when I will use humor to try and make my point without coming off, well, you're just being mean, you're just being terrible. I can use a little bit of humor to start the conversation with, wow, that was nasty. I'm expecting you to wear pink on Wednesdays. You're such a mean girl. Sometimes just even in that little joke that can shock that person. Oh, wow, someone heard me. And that's hard to do, right, Bella? That's hard to do when you're in middle school. It can be very hard to be candid in that moment. So, I also like to teach my students a couple of really good one-liners that if anybody does bully you, or if you hear anybody say something nasty to a friend of yours, I give them like 3 or 4 good comments, and I know it's working when a kid will come running into me, oh my gosh, you'll never believe what somebody said in the gym. He said, I remember your glue. And it was wonderful. And everyone laughed, and then it stopped. And I was like, oh, sweet.
It worked.
Okay. That's nice too.
That's awesome.
All right. How can students build good relationships with teachers?
Be yourself, be kind, be candid, ask for help when you need it. Say, tell that teacher, I think you're doing a great job, or I'm struggling to understand you, and I want us to, do better. I mean, rarely does it happen, but I've had a kid, write me a note, Miss Berger, I feel like you don't like me very much, and I really wish that you did, because you like everybody, and sometimes it seems like you don't like me.
Oh. Yeah.
And I was so glad. Oh my gosh, I was hurt, and I was maybe a little bit pissy for 5 minutes. That, what do you mean I don't, what do you mean, you don't connect with, I don't like you. Of course I like you. You're not, and it's like, wait. Somebody just told you very honestly and candidly that they feel like they're not connecting with you. Take that for what it means. So I wrote the kid back, and I said, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that your feelings are hurt. I agree. I don't feel like we've really connected to each other well enough yet. So let's do a better job. What if you come in on Tuesday morning with some Starbucks, and I'll bring some cookies, and maybe we'll just have time, you and me. And he came in, brought Starbucks, I brought cookies. We had an amazing conversation. And just in that 15, 20 minutes, we had established that we cared about each other more.
Wow.
And that kid felt safe with me, and our relationship got so much better. And this was a kid that was acting out in class. This was a kid that other people would roll their eyes at, ugh, him again. And I mean, it made his behavior better in class because he felt like a better human being in class. He felt connected to me. And when we were able to have that connection, I think that helped connect him to other fellow students that, seems like he and Ms. B are pretty good. Me and Ms. B are pretty good. All right, we have that in common. Again, it's building on that layer of commonality. It's being able to show we have this together. I mean, I don't really think there are a lot of bad kids. I think there are some kids that say bad things. I think there are some kids that maybe haven't learned limits, or maybe are struggling with their own identities or self-esteem. Like, usually when someone is acting out, there's a reason for it. Part of my job is to figure out what that is, and hopefully I can share that with, talk to the student, talk to the parents a little bit, and if everybody is, again, coming from a place of caring, we can all move through it, and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're like,
I need confetti.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Have you ever had to report a student or colleague for bad behavior, and what was that like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Belly, you're not so foolish to think that I would ever share something like that. Put someone out there like that, put someone on notice. I don't like it when we talk bad about others. But let's say, I mean, yes, I've had to, but before I go to report someone, and I like that we use report, and I like that we're not saying rat or tattle, because again, reporting means we are genuinely concerned about someone's safety and health and well-being. Now, I think, again, one of the things that makes me candid is that before I ever would go to a supervisor, I go to that person first.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't make everybody comfortable. I mean, I have had supervisors then come to me and say, hey, Jane says you make her uncomfortable, that you came to her room and, said, I'm having this problem, and she felt very attacked and under pressure. And again, I have to then take that, I'm so sorry that Jane felt that way. I came to her because I wanted to have a candid conversation. I feel like we're not understanding each other, and that can be tough because everybody's level of comfort is different. And if Jane went to my supervisor, clearly she's not feeling comfortable talking to me, even though I'm coming from a place of, candor and a place of concern. So I have to be able to take that, respect their feelings, and then I've got to kind of deal with a third person to say, well, please tell Jane these 3 things, and would you ask Jane if she'll talk to me? Because I'd really like to talk the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But with students, again, before I'm going to, unless I felt like a student was in danger, their health and well-being was in danger, I'm going to that student first. I'm not going to go talk about you with somebody before I talk to you. That's because I wouldn't want someone to treat me like that. I mean, again, when someone comes to me and says, hey, someone has a problem with you, my first initial response is they can come talk to me about it then.
Yeah.
But that's where I live. That's my mindset, and I've spent years working on that, and I have to be patient and kind and recognize that that's maybe not in everybody's wheelhouse. That's perhaps not where everybody lives, and they're not feeling comfortable having this conversation with me because maybe they're worried I'll get offended. They're worried I'll yell. They're worried that they'll hurt my feelings. I mean, there's lots of different reasons why people are not candid. I can only do my best to be in charge of myself and my feelings. Oh, that's something, that's another little piece of advice that I can give.
Yeah, I like that.
Both students and adults, alike.
Yeah.
You are only responsible for your own feelings.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends had a breakup recently. And, breakups, they're terrible. They're hurtful. You've been going out with somebody and you think everything's going really well and you're excited and you're starting to meet friends and this, that, and the other. And then they say to you, I don't like you enough to continue. That stinks. And that's hard and heartbreaking. And, I was talking this one of my really good friends, and my heart was breaking for her a little bit. And I just felt so badly. And, she said, well, what did I do? And what was wrong? And I was like, it's not you. This person was not feeling like they wanted to keep moving forward. And at least they're telling you now after a couple of months and not after a couple of years, not after a wedding, heaven forbid. I mean, there's a lot of people that will kind of hide their feelings and say nothing, hoping it will magically change, hoping that things are going to suddenly get better without really taking any steps to be candid. And I said to her, I said, candidly, I said, you're amazing. I said, this guy, he's not. Right. He's not good enough for my really good friend. And I didn't like A, B, and C because this is my friend, and I'm always between my friend. But we can only be responsible for our own feelings. And she said, well, what if I alienated him, or what if I made him feel this? I was like, well, then he's a big boy and he has to tell you.
Yeah.
Then he has to say, you said this the other day and it bothered me. And I think that, Shelley, when we become adults, we hope that we've had the training and the communication skills to create, good relationships in our adult life. And I'm very recently married. I'm married less than 4 years. My husband proposed in my classroom.
Oh.
It's such a special place to me. But I think one of the best things about my husband is he's my best friend. And part of the reason that we are best friends is we are very candid and we work hard to speak clearly and communicate with each other that, hey, it really hurt my feelings when you did this, or, that kind of bothered me. Or as he said to me the other day, stop using your teacher voice on me. I am not a child. And when you do that, it's insulting. And it's like, yep.
Got it. Yeah.
But when he tells me I can change the behavior, or I can address the behavior, or I can sit down and say, tell me about that. I don't think I'm hearing it. I don't think I even realized that I was using it. When did that happen? But I mean, he's amazing because we communicate so well. I mean, and he's super hot and really talented and awesome. But I mean, like, we are really good communicators.
Yeah. We have been, it'll be our 22nd year of being married this year. And,
that's awesome.
I totally agree. You do get to a point where you understand the rhythm of how you communicate. There's just some things you just realize, look, it's not even worth it having an argument over this. It just does not. And I think it comes from a place back to what you said earlier about the intention. So if you're starting from a place where the intention is pure and it could coming from a caring place, and it does shift the conversation.
It does.
It's just very, very different.
nobody feels attacked. Nobody feels like they're, you're coming to hurt me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm coming to tell you my feelings. I'm coming to tell you, or, I guess in the case of a bullied child, I'm coming to tell you that this is how someone is feeling and they don't feel safe enough to come talk to you about it.
Yeah.
So I'm stepping in.
Yeah.
And I think that's great is that, in life, all of the relationships we have, large and small, significant and less so, they teach us about the kind of human being that we want to be. They teach us about the adult that we're growing into, and they help us to continue to shape and define our values and our circle. And it all matters. And the people that really have a good impact on us, we take that into us, and we let it, we build from it, and we draw them into our circle. And think about your circle. Your circle should be all the people that are cheering for you, and they want the best for you, and they're excited for you. And when you're sad, they're going to pick you up. And when you need to sit on a couch wearing sweatpants, eating pizza, and watching old reruns of Parks and Rec, they are down with that. Like, that matters.
Yeah, it does.
That's who you want in your circle. That's who I got in my circle.
Mm-hmm. And the other day, I had some, I was in this friend group, and two of the friends were really kind of toxic towards me. So I had to call one of my other friends that was in that group, and I had to tell them, I was like, I'm not going to be hanging out with these people as much. I'm going to be hanging out with you and one of the other people that was in the group, but I'm not going to be hanging out with the entire group because they didn't make me feel good. And I don't want to be around people that don't make me happy and who they just bring my mood down. Yeah. And I'm kind of scared because first they sometimes they think that if someone's not hanging around that group, they think it's their fault. So I wanted to tell them before they thought anything, that I was like, it's not at all your fault. That's just how I'm feeling. I'm not excluding you or our other friend. I truly just don't want to be around these two people because they're not making me feel good about myself.
And I think being a good communicator, like you said, to be able to tell people is nice. But I want to caution. Can I throw a word of caution in there, my love?
Oh yeah.
So I love Bella because she's verbose. She's a talker. She's like me. She's a good communicator. But there are times when Bella and I give a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Sometimes that detail will come off as gossipy.
Yeah.
And even though I'm just trying to, I just want you to know where I'm coming from, that I'm not going to hang out with Shelly anymore because she said a couple of unkind things and she doesn't make me feel good. If that person then turns to our friend group, so Lisi says Shelly is saying unkind things, and then it turns into kind of gossip, and then we've kind of given more fuel to those people that are being unkind. Well, did you hear Bella was talking about me? Yeah. So I think that you're right. I think you should let people know, but I think I would keep it even more succinct to be able to say, oh, listen, I'm not going to be hanging out on Saturday, but I'd love to spend time with you and you and Shelly another time. And if they say why, you know what, I'm not as close right now to Jason, and I'm not going to be spending as much time with him. Well, why? Just something we're going through.
Exactly.
And that's okay, because you are clearly saying, I am choosing not to be around that person, but you're not giving any sort of fuel to, an ugly fire later on with, well, she said this, because Bella, you can agree with me. A lot of the drama at our school just comes from she said, well, he said, well, she said. So maybe I want to teach my children to
too much ammunition.
Say slightly less.
Don't get. I tell. Listen, I do this in my day job, right? Don't give people ammunition. You don't need to know the backstory, or you really don't need to know the context. I'm just not available.
And that's okay, because like you said earlier, they're my feelings, they're my words. I take responsibility for them. I will share with my closest friends what I'm thinking, but it's so tempting to make it gossipy and really to rally people to your side. I get it. I mean, Bella is a lot like me. We are people that want to give really full, complete, detailed explanations. And And it's gotten me in trouble in the past. And I know it's gotten Bella into a little trouble in the past. So I have to keep reminding myself, give a simple, clear answer that does not put anybody's reputation or dignity into question when they are not standing right in front of you.
Exactly.
And I feel like
I'm
that's
opposite. I'm like, you don't even know.
Yeah. Well, and don't be afraid to say to someone, I'm not going to go into that right now.
Yeah.
And then we change the subject. I'm not going to go into that right now. Oh my gosh, I had the best cake this morning for breakfast. It was strawberry. It had strawberry icing. Let me paint you a picture. And that's another skill that I think all children and frankly adults could use, the art of changing a conversation topic. Don't be afraid to change the subject, because then if somebody keeps circling back to it, then it's like, hang on. Why do you keep asking me about this? I mean, I've said to you pretty clearly I don't want to talk about it. And since we're good friends, I feel like you're not listening right now. Can you listen to me? Yeah. Thank you. Boom. Now, Bella, tell your mother, tell the audience, how great is the phrase thank you?
I use it too much, but it's great.
It's amazing, right?
Too much?
Because when you thank someone, how can they ever find
they
fault with that?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm so glad you guys are here. I need you to go ahead and split this up, and we're gonna grab that and grab that. Oh no, we're done. Thank you. And then we keep going. Like, again, sometimes our fast talking really helps us because we can, listen, I'm so glad that you're here. I was worried that we weren't getting along lately. And now I love that you're here sitting with all of our friends. We're going to have the best time. Thank you for that. Because it's hard to argue with this, right? It's hard to argue with that.
I love that.
There's always another solution to just being mean. There's always a better way. And again, candor comes from a place of caring. So we can learn to change the subject. We can learn to give a succinct answer for why something is or is not happening. We can surround ourselves with amazing people. I mean, there are things we can do, and it's a good age. Middle school is a great place to work on our social skills and our cues, and picking out the people that we want in our life and picking out the people that we'd like to have a little distance from. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I love that. So Bella, we are coming down to our time here. I've got one more question before we have to, and by the way, I am so excited that you're going to be coming back anyway for our Tipsy Tuesday, so the grown folks can talk. So that's happening, y'all. So just
hey, I love the children, Bella. The children are the best.
Right. I'm sorry. I gotta have her. So what's your
all right. Bella, what's our last question going to be? I'm ready.
Our last question is a very important question because it's what this whole thing is based on. So what makes you feel proud, inspired, and empowered?
I am proud that I'm a good communicator.
Yeah.
It's taken a long time, and I had, there were moments where I feel like I just talked to run my mouth, or to kind of, my insecurities would bubble up and I would talk and not really say a lot of things with real substance. And I am proud that I feel like as I've gotten older, I've become a better communicator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm mindful of what's coming out of my mouth. I'm mindful of how I believe it will impact other people. And I'm proud of that, because I think that's a tough skill for somebody like me who just wants to gush and talk and speak and do all of that. Inspired. I am inspired by people who are speaking their truth.
Yeah.
Lately, there have been a lot of changes especially for my students of color, my female students, my LGBTQ, students. I am inspired by people who are trying very hard to say, this is who I am, and I'm going to bring good to the world, and I'm going to be brave, and this is how I identify, this is who I am, this is how, I want you to talk to me and speak to me, and these are my concerns, and I'd like to work on them together. I'm incredibly inspired by stories of of bravery for people just saying that this is not okay, or saying I don't feel safe. I'm really inspired. And I guess, man, Shelley will talk more about that on the adult end of the conversation. But I'm really proud of my children and kids all over the world that are saying, this is who I am. Because I think when I was a child, we never felt safe to say things like that. We would have never had, a pride group at my school. We never would have, talked about pronouns and things like that. This is a new world that continues to evolve and change. And I'm proud of people who are a part of that and feel like they can stand up or sit down and say nothing until they're ready. I'm proud of people making a choice that works best for them. Yeah. Empowered. Gosh. That's a tough one. I mean, to really feel empowered means that I feel like I have power, and maybe sometimes I don't. Maybe sometimes I feel like I'm one voice, and I'm in a very public domain as a teacher. I don't like to go into what my political viewpoints are, because I don't think that's fair. I think that that's sometimes an undue influence, and I want to be unbiased, and I want my children to know that, oh well, we don't agree on this issue, so I bet she doesn't like me. I mean, that's I feel like that doesn't set a safe tone. I mean, I guess it's just empowering to be in the company of women like you, the both of you, that decided that you had a message to share. You found a YouTube channel, you checked all the boxes and dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and you moved forward with something in which you value and believe. Yeah. And that empowers me. I mean, the fact that I get to be here, the fact that I get to speak with you, the fact that I get to watch you do this, I mean, this is very empowering. Like I said, it makes me want to think about how can I continue to get my message out there, and is my message worth, I believe I have a message worth spreading, and how can I put it out there? And that's pretty empowering. So you two make me feel empowered.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to, I feel like I'm going to this is going to be my first live where I'm crying. You have the spirit of a woman that I love very much, is my mom. She was a teacher my whole life. And
that makes me feel so good. Oh my gosh.
So much of her. She has the same, it's the same energy, the same spirit, the same everything. And so I'm so floored, because you remind me so much of her and the way that she cared about kids. So that's why I'm I can't even get the words together, because as I'm listening,
and I'm a crier. Bella will tell you, I cry at everything.
You said some things that really remind me. You really remind me of my mom, and she's been gone since 2018, 2019. Now I can't get the years together.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but it's just, I feel like, man, she's in this space right now, and I can hear her in your voice. So I am so grateful for your commitment to our kids. As a mom, I'm just so, I know I'm blessed that Bella had you. I know that all the kids at Archer Mill, y'all are so lucky. You have no idea, to have Miss Berger there, and to have staff and team, from everybody from the front door to the kitchen, y'all, who genuinely care about our kids. And so we are so, when I say we're honored and humbled, we are really, I can't get the words out.
I'm falling apart over here.
There's a lot. When we launched this, I launched this company April 1st. And for those of you who are, also, I'm from a mixed religion background, so we still have some folks who are Christian and some are Jewish and some are Muslim in my family. April 1st, just for context for folks who don't know, is the first day of Nisan. It's also when you go into Passover. And I happened to launch my business on that day. It was accidentally, but I knew it was done on intention. It was done on purpose. And we have been so blessed to see so many different things that we've been able to do, different speaking series on this channel, and all the ways that we've been able to connect. But the best part for me by far has been you being on this program with us. I love all my guests, I really do. But there's something very different about you and just your heart and what you're giving. So I will be looking for you to grow into something. I do believe that adults need all of the training and all of the tools and resources that you will be providing. And I'm saying it because I know it's going to happen. And when I say it happens, right, Bella?
Well, if it must, it must. I mean, and it's wonderful again to have people in your circle that are cheering for you and that want to see you grow and want to see you succeed. I mean, I feel so lucky that, you know, I got to start with my Bella and we got to build the really important relationship that we have, and Shelly, that led me to you. And I mean, who knows where this is going to take the future. It's so exciting. It's so exciting.
I'm literally like 5 years ahead. Like, yeah, I see it. Right, Bella? I have not been wrong yet. So I know I can do it. I'm not wrong, right? I'm not wrong. I know I see but this is going. Bella's like,
I get it. I get it. I teach and I know things. I feel very good about where we're starting off. I really do. But
it is.
Can you allow me to thank you both so sincerely? Thank you for letting me, you know, talk and thank you for letting me share some of the things that matter to me and are important to me. And thank you for letting me put this out into the universe. And to everybody who winds up watching this, I just want to tell you, you matter and you're important, and the world is a richer, better place with you in it. And I want you to find your people. I want you to find your circle. So, you know, to all my teenagers out there, I want you to find your place in your school. You matter. You're supposed to be there. Find your trusted adult. Find joy. Find the subjects that you love and study them with rigor, and find ways to take it further and make your school experience memorable with all sorts of good, happy memories. And know that it won't be perfect, and that's okay. Know that we're going to grow from experiences. I mean, we win or we learn. We never lose. There's no losing here. You're going to grow from every single experience, and I'm already excited for all the strangers. I mean, I'm so excited for all you guys that I don't know, all of you guys that I know and love. This is going to be a great year.
Absolutely. Oh, Lord, y'all. I'm trying not to cry. All right. So with that, we are going to end our broadcast. We leave these videos up forever on our channel. Because we know there's a lot of folks that watch the replay. There's a surprising amount of adults that also watch the Teen Thursdays, which is okay. So
which I know is nice. Clues you into what schools are thinking about, those mysterious creatures that they are.
Exactly. And for the teachers, because I'm going to be pushing this in front of teachers and organizations, nonprofits, all, you know, if you guys are interested in some coaching, I think you should be contacting this lady on this line. So I'm just gonna drop that right here, because that's I think where we're gonna go with this. So awesome. Bella, I guess I'll let you close us out today. We always
take us home, girl.
Yeah, do it, Bella. You got this. Oh, you let me know when that. Go ahead, Bella.
I want to thank y'all for joining. I want to thank the lovely Miss Berger for being here today. Like, follow, share, turn on the notification bell. I got it right because Mom can't do it. She can't do it. It's an issue. It's okay.
Let that be the worst thing with which we deal. All right. Let that be as bad as it gets. Well, thank you, Internet. Thank you, whoever winds up watching this. Thank you to the amazing Jeff Code family. This was amazing. Amazing.
Thank you, guys. We're going to end here. Ms. Berger, just hang out in the back room with us for a second. We're going to let these people go.
Sounds good.